To be reborn, you first have to die. This is the story of my death.
Candido HDR.
This is some good lighting right here, oh yeah. What's up guys, it's Johnny Candido of Candido Training HQ. This is my first full YouTube video over 200 pounds. I've never been over 200 pounds at any point in my life on this channel. And right now, I'm honestly like around 204 right now.
I can't stop eating.
With that being said, it is week 1 of my 10 rep max program. So what I'm working towards right now this cycle, the big goal is 500 pound squat for 10 reps. If I could hit that, I would be ecstatic. Because as many of you guys have seen on this channel, I've deadlifted 500 pounds for 21 reps. That was a huge goal of mine. I have also squatted 405 for 18 reps, which you'd say was a projected 20 rep max. That was the goal there, that I could have done 2 more reps if I really had to. But when it comes to the squat for a 10 rep max, I have never done 500 for 10. I think the best I've ever done was 510 pounds for a 7 rep set. And that was when I was squatting 625. So that was in prime shape. And that was a really big 7 rep PR set for me. But I really want to elevate things now. And if I can hit 500 for 10 in one of these more introductory phases, because I've not been focusing on max squat strength, I've been focusing more on bodybuilding and bringing up my upper body. But if I can pivot into this could be absolutely a huge base point for me moving forward. So in the cycle before this, I did a 4-week phase. It was just an introductory phase. And I hit a 575 pound single. So that was just to get really within that minimum intensity, and then I could expand back out in this 10 rep phase. I'm also doing version 4 specifically of this program. So if you want to give it a shot, link is in the description, of course. And version 4 is the version where it's totally bodybuilding upper body and then totally powerlifting lower body. So it's actually really fun. I'm doing squats, high rep squats, and then curls paired today, and nothing else. So it's a really interesting mix, but I'm able to really push like 8 sets of curls. That's in total. So it's actually a really big arm day and squat day paired together. And I'm gonna go over a little bit of how you can pair things not in the traditional way. Alan Thrall has actually touched on this, and I think it's a fantastic topic because when you are fitting all of this in, you don't have to do it one way. Like there's so many different ways you can get your weekly work in, and most importantly, hit it with intention. Doing just curls after a bunch of other like upper back, chest exercises, all of that sometimes can make the focus go a little bit lower. Here, we're just going to get high quality squat work, 1 accessory, and then high quality bicep work with 8 total sets, not bullshitting 3 different bicep movements. All right, enough talking, let's get it. I'm just gonna walk around like this. Okay, we have a lot to talk about in today's video. The first point I want to clarify is this 10 rep max phase is something that I strongly recommend for powerlifting. This is typically what I've programmed for clients, a similar structure to this right after a 1 rep max. And I want to make that very clear because this is completely different from those 20 rep phases I alluded to in the intro. That was just for fun and to let my nuts hang, so to speak. Whereas this is in the context of periodized programming throughout the year, and then it can transfer very well into a 3 rep PR, 2 rep PR, or single PR, wherever you take it. After this phase, I will do a 3 rep phase, which I'll also have on the channel, and the goal there will be 585 for 3. But before that, I want to build a huge base. Now let's slow it down to 1,000 frames per second. You won't see this quality anywhere else in the powerlifting world. These singles are incredibly important for both maintaining technique, but also this low hype RPE 5, and then it's only going to go up to RPE 6.5 by the end of this training cycle. These singles are still very important because the lighter lows that we're hitting on 10 rep sets leave such a big gap. This is why a lot of people regress in volume phases because they drift too far away from 85%. In other news, I'm married. I have one request from you guys, just one favor to ask. Could you comment, "We love Christabel"? I would love to see 100+ comments just saying, "We love Christabel." I haven't told her I'm going to mention this on video or anything, so she would see it when you guys see it. That'd just be a little fun surprise. And yes, she is the same black girlfriend I alluded to on my checklist on a previous video, who is now my black wife. And this also connects to something I've been asked about, which is, now that I'm gaining weight, what am I going to do about dunking? And the reality is that responsibility now will be passed down to my African-American son. I'm not going to push sports on him or anything, but when he turns 16, I'm going to throw it off the backboard and see if he can go up and get it like we're on the 2013 Miami Heat. So here you can see I'm using 455 pounds because actually my top set with 470 did not go well, but it's only because I couldn't hit it at RP 6.5. Also, I made an important technique adjustment, which is really important on low bar, high reps, is to still stay in your hips. So you could see in that first set, I was really in my quads more than I usually am. And it's very tricky because on the descent, your lower back gets more fatigued from higher reps when you're leaning more forward, obviously, but it can actually impact your positioning on the ascent. So even if the descent feels harder, you still have to just push through it. And that's not a factor at all on low rep sets, but on high rep sets, it can mentally get a little bit tricky to keep trusting in your forward lean. So that was something that I made a big adjustment on, and it's why these next few sets moved really well. But overall, this is also why it's so important to have pyramiding sets, because by pushing myself a little bit harder on week 1 than I otherwise would if I did a 4x10 or a 5x10, if I did that, I would use maybe 405 and have RPE 0 on my first set and hit no effective reps. It would basically be ineffective for hypertrophy. Whereas if you're either using ascending sets or descending sets, a lot of times then you can slash that volume significantly, get way more quality work, and actually have the best of all worlds. Better hypertrophy, better performance, and better transfer. So that's something I can't recommend enough. And I see that all the time too, where programs start with a 4x10, it starts with like 55%. And then only on week 3 does it finally hit like any effective reps essentially. Now here you can see 530 pounds for this single moves about as well as I've ever moved it. And this again is why it's so important to have singles even in a volume phase, because then you can just be pleasantly ahead of schedule. Now I will say that depth was a little bit high, and that's something that's going to be just a process. You know, this is a journey of weighing 205 pounds. My leverages are changing, my goals are changing. And to get back to that title topic, that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, is because it just completely reframes everything to try something new. And sometimes you can be so used to your own pocket, your own rhythm, your own expectations that you know how 495 should feel. You know how 585 should feel. Now I have no idea how any of this weight should feel. So here you see I'm getting revenge on 470 pounds from week 1 that I had to re-rack, which rarely happens to me. And I got to nail this and better depth, I would say, than that single. But to get back again to that topic, is my goal overall in terms of the squat is to squat 650 pounds as like that really big long-term goal, and then 660 pounds or 300 kilograms is like that ideal long-term goal. If I could do that at 205, 198, whatever the case may be, then that would be a lifelong goal, truly. Here you can see as I'm leg pressing, I actually set the settings too high. So you can see there's a pin there that I should have set it to lean back as much as possible. So I can't recommend enough if you're on a program with leg press to make sure that you're on a leg press that can lean as far back as possible, because not all leg presses are made equally. A lot of people think the leg press sucks when it's their leg press that sucks. That's something I've gotten wiser on over the years. So this is also a really big difference between this version of the 10 rep max program and a version around a couple years ago. I had a free version that was only the squat, not the full squat bench deadlift in 4 versions. Like I said, link in the description again. But as far as that program, I had front squats and then 2 other quad accessories after the 3x10 squat on the competition squat. So it was more volume, but it was like 10 to 12 sets and became more junk volume compared to just having 3 quality comp squat sets followed by 3 sets of 12 on the leg press. It's better to have 6 high quality sets than 10 to 12 mediocre ones. My second big reason for being over 200 pounds is I want 17-inch arms. 10 years ago here, I looked kind of big, but I wasn't actually big. I was 160 pounds. Here, I was 170s, and I was starting to get the best of both worlds, and then boom, I just regressed like crazy, looked terrible at 188 because I simply didn't train biceps. But it's important to keep in mind that even back then, this was during that peak year time in terms of arms, I still looked small. So my arms weren't actually big, it was just good lighting. Whereas here's at 200 pounds, now I look bigger and I'm actually big. Not 15-inch arms that look okay in good lighting, actual 17-inch arms. Here, one important detail is pre-church curls are actually more effective in one interesting study when it comes to comparing pre-church curls versus dumbbell incline curls. Now, it's important to keep in mind this was 31-person female-only study, not even surveilled in terms of how they executed, not even statistically significant. So like always, don't trust in the science without actually reading the details, and that applies to more than just fitness. It's still important to keep in mind the evidence, and this is why I could not recommend enough following House of Hypertrophy. Their graphic is what I use there, and they also showed a really interesting study that compared just varied training versus not varied bicep curls doing exactly the same volume, and that varied training also got better results. I'm sure we all know of someone running a powerlifting program just doing 3 sets of regular dumbbell curls, making no gains on their arms. You just gotta take it seriously and get mad at it. Level up. What I like the most about House of Hypertrophy is it removes the personality aspect of a Jeff Nippard or Mike Israetel type channel. So if you just want to get straight to the just facts, the evidence, and it's very up to date, again, phenomenal channel, and I'll link them in the description. I haven't talked to them about this or anything. I'm just genuinely a fan. In my opinion, it's the best fitness channel on YouTube, honestly, as far as new evidence. With that being said, finishing off here with a straight arm cable curl, and this is to hit the middle of the strength curve. So generally, I might substitute with the preacher curl. Sometimes I do the spider curl to get a more clear shortened position, dumbbell incline curl to get a little bit more of a lengthened position, and then middle of the strength curve here, and going to absolute failure. Not just approximating, not just RP10 or where I guess it is, no matter what, attempting the failed rep.
Perfect.
Feels good, by the way, to get back to making some beautiful HDR videos here on YouTube. Because I've been posting on Instagram and that just, it just doesn't satisfy the soul like quality 4K HDR. Anyways, that was today's workout. This was honestly one of those workouts where it feels amazing. Have you ever had a workout where it just feels amazing, even though you didn't hit anything necessarily special on paper, but you just know like you're locked in and you're going in the right direction? Because that's exactly how I feel. Because yeah, I mean, the 3x10 on the squat wasn't anything crazy. Nothing really even near a PR. But the squat single with 505 felt fantastic for low hype. And also the leg press just felt great, especially that last set with 7 plates. But also just the combination of doing squat volume plus bicep volume in the same workout. I really enjoy that. It was just really fun. It just feels great right now. Like I just feel invigorated. Now, that being said, I don't know how I'm going to handle deadlifts tomorrow after all the DOMs that I'm going to be feeling from this. I got snatch grip deadlifts and hamstring curls, and also a little bit of upper back work on top of all of that. So that being said, make sure to smash the like button to support the channel and follow along the journey, because by week 5, you see here on week 1, the fact that I couldn't hit 470 for 10 at RP 6.5, I definitely could have hit it for 10, but you can tell that I cannot hit 500 pounds for 10 reps on day 1, and you will see on week 5, I will hit it. I absolutely know I will. So that being said, make sure to follow along for the journey, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to join in and not just passively watch, but actually do exactly what I'm doing, link is in the description to the Candido Forever program. That being said, have a great day, guys. Peace. Hold, what? Hey, hold up. This is 204 pounds. This is definitely favorable lighting, but not bad in terms of leanness. Like I said, once I'm down to 196, that's when I'll officially do a physique update. Because I think 196, I will be so much leaner and in better shape than I actually was at like 188 when I first took that bicep flex picture with Sean Noriega and just looked like absolute dog shit at 188. Like I would say right now, literally, I think at 204, I might be leaner than I was at 188 then, because that was right before I really started taking this shit serious. Here's a few final quick flexes, so you could just really see the upper body is definitely catching up more than ever. It's been honestly so much fun not bench pressing at all, just doing straight bodybuilding upper body, like I mentioned, and then powerlifting lower body. But also one thing that showed really quickly here at the very end is when not flexing, just seeing the difference in bicep and tricep thickness. That to me is the coolest part.